So if you didn't know, this is the Morning Wood NFL Sunday here, brought to you by Rupture Sports.
What up, boys? We're back with the Golf War Show, the preeminent golf show on the entire internet.
Huge weekend of baseball coming up. We haven't really had a final week like this in a while where there's so many teams that are still alive.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby beat Freddie!
They might have the best pass rush in football.
They were adamant about not having a slow start.
How many times have they disappointed us? So I'm having a lot less of this game.
The game is over. The New York Jets are the world champions. Mahomes swings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions!
We are picking winners here at Run Pure Sports. I'm Stat Station along with JBC. Welcome, everybody. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about here in the world of sports betting. We're going to go over some of the hot topics. We'll go over some bets. I know we've got a lot of college basketball going on.
Yeah, why don't I go ahead and give a game that's about to start right now?
Yeah, give a game that's about to start. I was going to tell you to do that, so go ahead.
Let's see, where is it?
You had a 1 o'clock. Was it the Illinois game about to start, or no? That's later.
Kentucky plus 10.5.
Yep.
Kentucky plus 10.5 against Florida.
I'm with you. I looked at your bets. I'm with you on most of these, so that's good. I do like that Kentucky, and they should be tipping any moment now, right? So get that one in. Of course, now with live betting, you could always maybe jump in a couple of minutes into the game. Shouldn't change much, but all right, so we've got that. We're gonna have some more. We'll have some more picks for you guys as far as college basketball goes here today. We'll have some props. We always do our DraftKings pick 6, and of course we've got like I said, some of the hot topics of the day going on in sports betting. If you didn't pick up the book yet, of course check it out. The prop Get the book. It is sold everywhere books are sold, which I think is only Amazon, and it's only on Amazon. So
yeah, only Amazon sells books now.
Only Amazon sells books, unless you're really a
Barnes and Noble. I'll say this: it's like there was a Barnes and Noble attached to the business school building when I was in college, and like if I had like an hour between classes, I definitely like wander around and like peruse the inventory.
For a guy who, and I'm not a huge reader, as you know, I'm an audiobook guy because I'm
the opposite. I like to
exactly. I know, and your reading comprehension is a lot better than mine, which I always did really well. I could sit in a lecture, listen to the lecture, ace the test, never take a note. But if you ask me to read a book, I'll just read the same. I'm reading the same paragraph over and over. But I'm like you. There was a Barnes and Nobles in Union Square, right where I used to work, and yeah, every once in a while I would pop in there and check it out. There was also a what do they call it? Like bibliophiles, people who are really into books. There's like a legendary bookstore right in Union Square, which is right next to NYU. That all like just old classic books, not a lot of the new names, but. Yeah, I don't know. I would get interested in that, and then I would get into it. I would geek. I like some of the geeky stuff. Like I would go to like the game, like the stores that sold like games and stuff.
Well, Barnes and Noble's got a bunch of games and stuff.
They do too. Yes, they do. So, well, we got into games. Me and my buddies, my brother, we got into board games there for a while. So I would hit some game store. You actually got me started. You got me at least my foot in the door. I hadn't played a board game in like 20 years. Right. You said, "Oh, pick up Ticket to Ride." You said
Ticket to Ride is very good. I like Ticket to Ride on iPad because there's not as many. You don't have to deal with all the parts because there's so many parts in the game. like
Yes.
the actual board game.
Well, what we wound up doing was after buying up a whole bunch of different games and playing them, we wound up becoming like Catan.
Like you were like knee deep in it.
We're obsessed with Catan. Now that I'm not there locally, I mean, obviously.
I love Catan because there's such a backstabbing element to it.
Oh yeah. There's the trading, so then it becomes an argument, like how how you trade. The best games, but I know we're going off on a tangent, but the best games, and actually this kind of relates to betting, certainly to poker. The best games of all time have some element of luck and some element of skill.
Right.
And sports betting is like that as well, right? I don't know what it is neurologically.
You don't want a game to be completely skill like chess, because the problem with chess is you kind of know who's going to win before they even start.
Exactly. I can never beat Magnus Carlsen in a game of chess. Like, it's just not going to happen. I could name the top pro in poker on any given day, because if the cards just come my way and I have a little bit of talent, even without a lot of talent, you could still get lucky and cards just come your way. It's virtually, like you said, impossible. So chess is not nearly as much fun as a game of poker. And I think that kind of lends itself to the psychology of sports betting. And really, I wanted to get into the article that was in the Atlantic. I had you take a look at it. It was all over Twitter. If you hadn't read it, I'm forgetting who I think I have the article up, who the author was, but it's McKay, I believe it was his last name, or is his first name actually. McKay Coppins wrote an article. I believe it came out yesterday over on the Atlantic.
That article was a ride. It was a ride.
It was a ride. I mean, look, I went into it I didn't know exactly what the ending was going to be, but maybe go ahead, recap. You just read it.
So basically, the Atlantic was looking for somebody to like embody, like one of their writers to like embody like your average casual gambler, like, and just give him $10,000 and let him gamble for the entire NFL season, and whether he won or not, like just document like his experience with it. And they picked like this Mormon guy, this Mormon father of four, who like had to consult his pastor because he's like religious, which to me was the most ridiculous part of it, was that they at his job asked him to compromise his religious morals to do this shit, and which is absurd. But so they picked this Mormon father of four, and it just like documents like his descent into like gambling addiction over the course of the NFL season, to the point at the end he just gambles all of his money away on the Patriots, overdrafts his debit card and gambles all the money away on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, and loses it all and is like despondent, and has to like self-exclude himself. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think it was a little, I think there was a little bit of hyperbole in there. I think he played it up a little bit for the
he definitely
article.
played it up, but like for a guy like that literally like has no sin, quote unquote, in his life, like it was kind of extreme.
Yeah, it's funny, I guess it's kind of funny, but there was some outrage. People get offended with everything, right? But some of the professionals out there took offense to the basically this guy came in. He was not, religious, just for religious purposes, of course, had an anti-gambling stance. And now you're giving this guy $10K. It's not a fair experiment. This is part of the reason why it's not.
Well, he
fair.
also like was able to call up Nate Silver and ask him for advice.
That too, right? So you've got a guy who's obviously very good mathematical. Good, I don't know how great a gambler
he's
he
a good poker player. He's not
a good poker player, which I totally believe that. But at a minimum, Nate Silver understands all the numbers involved. He understands the math. He understands, and the advice that I read that he was giving him was pretty.
It's
sound.
a tough game to beat. Yeah,
it's a real tough game.
He was trying to minimize his losses, is what he was doing.
Which is essentially what I do with most people. I'm like, if you could gamble and break even, I mean, man, you're ahead of the game, because you got all the
you're beating 98% of people.
Yes, you've got all the entertainment. I always thought, look, you've got the vices out there. You've got the drinking, and you got drugs, and you've got women, whatever the big vices are.
You're explaining my life.
I know, but to me, the only one that actually like, let's say not to the point of addiction, but if you're going to go out to the casino and you're going to have a night out, there is a chance you're going to walk away. Like if you spend $400 or $500 at the casino, you might walk away up money. There's no chance of me going out to a fancy dinner and getting anything other than a satisfaction of having a really great meal that one night.
It depends. If you go to the bar, you may meet someone.
I'm assuming the night up. I'm assuming you're going out with your significant other, and
no. I'm talking about you going to the bar.
No, me. Yeah, no, it's different. But I'm talking about, again, when we talk about these stories, we're talking about average human beings. We're not talking about me here.
Yeah,
I'm a different animal.
Yeah. You just walk in the bar and the women fall over you.
It's a totally different. It's a totally.
It really is. It makes so little sense. I was actually talking to my wife about it the other day. I was like, how come every time we hang out with John, there is some attractive woman just like immediately walks up to him and starts fawning over him? I really don't understand.
Yeah, that is not.
I mean, I kind of understand, but there's a question there.
Yeah, I appreciate that great compliment.
There you go. Stats gets paid for his time.
It's true. But let's get back to the topic at hand here, which is but that article and the average, some people loved it. Some people just thought, look, he comes in with a bias, which he does. You kind of know where this article is going to go. I mean, he's going.
I don't know, because he kind of liked gambling by the end.
Oh, that's what he says. Like, I'm hooked, and now I've got to go in there and I've got to put my name on the list so that I'm not allowed to ever open up a betting account.
I'll say this. I bet you if he was single that he, like, for instance, if that guy gets divorced, he's going right back to gambling.
Yeah, no, that's a good possibility. Look, my grandfather loved to bet. Like, would have loved nothing more than to play the horses all day. It was my grandmother who kept him from doing that, and the reason that they ever had any money saved, because my grandfather would just played lotto and played the ponies all day. But my other grandfather, who was divorced, did play the horses all day and was a degenerate. So there is a difference when you have a woman in your life who can keep you.
Well, I think I read a statistic. It was actually in the article where it was like 98%, or sorry, 70% of sports bettors are men, but 98% of problem sports bettors are men.
Well, that doesn't shock me at all, just because of
because men have a higher risk tolerance.
Exactly.
They tend to be more optimistic about their financial situation, whereas women tend to be more grounded.
Well, and they're more apt to, right, because financial gain from, I mean, if we're going to get into all the, and I'm not a psychologist or a sociologist, but like you said, men are more hardwired to take risk. And that is to me, a lot of that has to do with mating and finding a partner. Typically, a woman doesn't necessarily.
You're going deep.
Yeah, this is my, just from what
all right.
From what I've read and everything.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Well, a woman having a lot of money doesn't nearly bring her as many mating potential partners as a man does, right? So men are much more willing to take a lot of risk. Women also taking a lot of risk is not very beneficial when you are, when you are typically, historically, the main caregiver in the relationship. You're oppressive for you to what's the right word? Basically, you're I'm very good with, I'm not good with vocabulary, but not perseverant. What's the word? But to preserve your to basically stay alive,
right,
is way more important for the mother than it is for the father, right? We can replace the father a lot easier than you
There's
can.
also a lot more, there's a lot more inherent risk for a woman when she's choosing her partner to make sure he's not
he's not going to run away.
Whereas men can kind of just,
of course.
Obviously there are crazy women out there, but not nearly as many as there are crazy men.
Right, which is why there's more men in jail.
Right.
I mean, right. So they're going to do a lot more stupid things in general. So yes, the addiction to the compulsiveness of being a gambler, sports bettor, I think the higher risk would be with men. And it seems, there was I didn't even look at it. There was the something on Fox that was coming around on Twitter that I forget what her name is, who does one of the shows on Fox, and had some like college kid, and they were talking about the dangers of betting and like how
guys, yeah. Oh god, I lost
$500. Yeah, I didn't even watch the clip because I mean they were all the same.
It was some religious cocksucker.
That's usually the way it is. But what annoys me like with the articles like this is actually it's sort of true how how a lot of people get in. Now a lot of people don't get handed $10,000 to get involved. The way it normally works, if it gets to that point, is people start with like really low limits. They'll put $50 into their account, and that's how it kind of builds up. Yeah. I mean, if you're a crack dealer, you're not selling you at the top price to the guy who walks in there first. You're giving him a free sample, right? You want to get people. That's why they give you all these bonuses and everything else, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, you can come in, it's risk free. Put up $200, we'll give you $200 to match, and da da da. That's how you eventually get there,
right?
But what what bothers me is, and it's not really uncommon, is the amount of people who out there who just want the quick fix. They just want a bet. You'll see it on the chats here. They're like, I thought you guys were giving out bets. Like, let me tell you something. The 1 hour here is going to be a whole lot like if we never give out one bet, I mean, this is going to be worth a whole lot more than you giving out a bet.
Give a man a fish, teach a man to fish.
Yeah, it's the old adage, but that is like, that's what I say about I've got some of the books I do actually buy are sports betting books, trading books, things like that, where I actually want it on paper because I could go back, refer to it, and they're a little bit more technical, so it's hard for me to do an audiobook in those. But to me, in my experience, like the best books I've ever read, I picked up like maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 things out of like a 400-page book. But to me, that's hugely beneficial. Like if there's one key thing that I picked up in a book, like I remember the first time I read Stanford Wong's book on what's the, I forget the name of it now, but his sports, he's got a few, but the biggest one, I've got it here somewhere actually.
I know what you're talking about.
And it was, I mean, it was probably 15.
Stanford Wong, who was actually a white dude.
Yes. Yeah, I know. But he had, that was the first time I ever heard of a Poisson distribution.
Right.
And what? I'm like, and I took statistics, but I wasn't a statistics major or anything like that. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. But the
first time I heard of a Poisson distribution was like 7th grade.
Yeah, we didn't learn. Come on, I went to New York City public schools, man. We didn't learn that. Now, no kids kids aren't learning that stuff. But that little idea, I'm like, oh, okay, that distribution now is that led me to other things. I've read other books where they're talked about their a model and building baseball. And then if you're into that kind of thing, all of a sudden you start playing around with your own models and building like that's how I got involved in all this and how I started with all this. I'm like, okay, that's of interest to me. And I'm going, I learned one little snippet, but I think unfortunately, and it goes with everything, everyone is looking, people ask me about, now a lot of people ask me about sports betting and whatnot. People used to ask me all the time about, hey, I've got $1,000 I'm looking to put into the market. How can I make a lot of money? I go, well, what's your time horizon? What you like? I need to make like $100,000 in the next 3 months. Like I've got $1,000. Like, what should I invest in? And I'm like, but this is, I mean, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but not much. But that's
you're not. And I mean, it depends. Are you willing to lose that $1,000 very quickly?
Well, and you nailed it, right? So what risk are you willing to take?
Say, crypto rug pulls.
It is, but right, but people, there's a risk and a reward to every single thing in life, let alone, of course, investing, betting, whatever it is. And no one really looks. I'm like, there are ways. There's a way right now. You can make a bet right now for $100 that'll pay you $1,000.
Parlay pit.
Yeah, but the odds are pretty good. It's not going to win, right?
Wiley makes like 10 of those a day.
Of course he does. Of course he does. But Wiley's, I mean,
I think one of the rules of the parlay pit is it has to be at least 100 to 1.
Yeah, people love those bets. We've talked about it before. They love them, but of course you're taking a risk. But I don't know what I don't know what the mindset is. It's no one wants to put, not no one, a lot of people just don't want to put in the actual work and learn what they're doing. They think somehow there's a way out there that I could click a button and just make just oodles and oodles of money, whether you're trading or you're sports betting or whatever it is. The actuality is it's like losing weight. I mean, I guess now you could take pills, but I mean, essentially it's a slow grind.
If you post a plus 700, you get booted from the channel.
But who are the guys? If you go on X and like, who are the guys? And then he talks about the Sean Perry guy, right?
Right.
Like, I don't even know. I don't follow
The fact that he went to Sean Perry and immediately recognized him as a scammer is pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
having no knowledge of what was going on.
Here's the thing. So here, let me tell you about that. So I think what percentage would you put on someone who, not someone who's deep into, not someone who would watch this show, not someone who's deep into this, but someone who's like a 25-year-old's like, I just want to start betting. They get on X, they start find this guy's account. What percentage of those people within the first week do you think say this guy's a bullshit artist or this guy is legit?
I think it depends if he wins that week or not.
That's a good point.
People are so results oriented.
Let's say he's a 50-50 guy on a week that so basically you're saying on a week that he does bad, pretty much everyone's going to be like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to
I don't think that he has a lot of return customers.
No, most of these guys, most of the big names who have hundreds of thousands of followers don't. They're not
right.
That's not their business model. But I think with this guy, he also was taking a peek behind the curtain where
Sean handed him his phone, like, film this.
Yeah, film this.
And he saw like the character switch when he went on camera.
The character switch, he's all dressed up. He told him, oh, this is my on-screen persona.
Right.
My online persona. And then they wouldn't take his $100,000 bet on whatever basketball game it was.
And it was only because it was a circle game.
It was a circle game. Right, which the key, of course, no.
It's right, you can literally look on the screen and says circle game.
Right. So it's like the guy behind the counter is like, oh no, it's a 3,000 limit because injury on the game.
Because it's a circle game.
Right.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is questionable.
Right. But I don't even think it was NBA. I think it was a college, whatever it was.
Whatever it was.
But but of course he knows that going in. He knows that he's not going to get $100,000 down on this game, and then he's going to run around on the internet and say, "Look at this, they're limiting me." No matter how many times a Todd Furman or these guys, or Jeff Benson, I should say, go out and say, "Hey, come over. You can play as much as you want with us."
Oh, dude, it's in it. And Jeff Benson said something on Twitter the other day, and he was like, Sean said something. He was bitching. He's like, "Oh, you can tell how much they hate having to pay me out, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "Yeah, because we give you the money, then you make us count it out again for your stupid ass Instagram video." He's like, "So yeah, they hate it. They fucking hate it."
Yeah, but because throwing it through the machine is not good enough, I guess, for the video.
No. You got for the video. You gotta count it out.
It's comical with these guys, but unfortunately, that's the nature of this business. It's the same, like I said, with trading and everything else. People, unfortunately, don't want to put the work in. This is not like I've always said it's so easy. It's part of like poker too, where the thing with poker was always it's such an easy game to learn, but it takes years to master. Anyone,
and nobody ever masters poker because you need to know kind of who you're playing against. Playing against different types of people is so different.
Well, this is why having the AI models, or not even AI, well, I guess you could call it AI, but the computer models for years, why it was so difficult for them to beat humans at poker, because you couldn't program a computer, right?
Not tipping is
well, that's brutal. Yeah, you got to tip. But using the computers to figure out how to beat poker was so extremely difficult because of the fact that you have that human element, and the human, at least years ago, was able to quickly diagnose how the computer was playing and then beat the computer because they played a certain style. Now we've gotten to the point where the computer plays so erratically, intentionally, that it's really hard for the human to really pick up a pattern because there really isn't one. And that has now become, wait, hold on, I got a call coming in, but that has now become how good the computers are. And we talked about chess. You talked about, we didn't talk about Go, which is even like chess on steroids, because there is not an infinite amount of moves you can make in chess. There's, I believe in Go, there's basically an infinite amount. I've never played Go, but so there is a possibility, 1 in a billion.
No, you didn't go to a Go parlor in China, in Beijing, when you were lecturing in Beijing.
No, I didn't play any Go when I was there. I did not. I was sampling the food back when I was still capable of eating.
Eat some bats.
I ate something that I'll never know what it was. I don't know what I ate because they didn't tell me. But
the street meat. It's like no, in New York City. You don't know.
I was at a restaurant, and there was a Chinese woman at the table with us, and she ordered it and said, "Don't worry about it. It's good." And
don't worry about it.
And I just went with it. But
was it good?
Small bones.
I mean, I'm sure it was good.
It was fine. It was good.
If she told you don't worry about it, then it's definitely
yeah. It was.
It's like speaking of, Boynton's in Vegas right now, and he sends me a text last night. At my recommendation, they went to. Did you get the text too?
Yeah, he said no, I didn't. But he's at Topgolf because I contacted.
They went to Craft Steak at our recommendation.
Like
yeah, he said they did the Wagyu tasting with the wine pairing. They were he was loving it, and that's basically the same thing. Telling. That's my favorite thing to do at a restaurant. Just telling him to fuck me up, give me whatever.
Oh yeah,
here's what I'm allergic to.
Exactly,
just do it.
No, if you go to a good place, we had a great. When we went to Nobu, that was one of the best, one of the better meals I've had out in Vegas with you and I know your wife was there. I forget, we had a few other people, but that was.
Oh, Aaron and his wife were with us.
That's right, Aaron was there. So if you go to a place, if you go to a really good place, that's part of the fun. Like I like where you could be a little bit. I hate being with someone who needs to be in control. This is a control thing. And by the way, you talk about male and female traits. I've seen this way more with women. I don't take a lot of men out to eat, but I've seen this way more with women who have to absolutely control like they cannot go to a nice restaurant where you've got some chef in there who studied for 25 years, who is now prepared.
Yeah, like, you know better. You know better.
And it's like, well, the sauce that you've got on the shrimp, can you put that sauce on the crab and then take this out of I'm like, and then they're just reconstructing the dish and they go, yeah, but all those ingredients, they have all the ingredients because I see them on the menu. I'm like, okay, yeah, but this is like, let's eat it the way the chef intended. Like, I totally get if you have an allergy or something like that.
Right.
Like, hey, can you just, about the only thing, I've got allergies and I hate to be that guy at the table, but nowadays it's real easy. But about the only thing I'll ever ask for is like go to like a burger place and be like, hey, just can you hold the tomato? I don't like tomatoes. Like, can you just like that? To me, that's not a big deal.
You don't like tomatoes?
I like tomato sauce. I just don't like tomatoes. Yeah,
you bitch.
I don't put tomatoes on anything. But I'm like, okay, like that's fun. Like leaving something out at a burger place. But yeah, if you're going to a nice place, I don't know. That drives me bananas. But that's
I completely agree with you. And it's funny because I feel like chefs don't get a lot of respect in this regard. But like, one of my friends is a high class chef, Charleston, and like fine dining, and he was doing catering for an event I was at, and he was like, somebody was like, well, this person's vegan. We didn't know like last second, like, and it was like a small event. There were only like 10 people, and in like 5 minutes, he came up with something vegan that tasted exactly like what we were having.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like he figured it out like that quick.
No, great. If you ever watched my aunt's husband, again, I don't call him my uncle because after the third marriage, I'm like, okay, listen, not my uncle anymore. This is just
after the third marriage, you're not my uncle anymore.
My aunt's husband, who I love, he's over here, and I'll be at the golf tournament with him next week. His daughter's a chef. Matter of fact, she owns a vegan restaurant up in New Hampshire. And or Vermont. She's up in Vermont. And I've watched her work. It's awesome because I love to cook, but like to do, I'm talking about she's working, when I say work, like not at the restaurant, but like doing a party at home. and just watching every element going, like they know exactly the timing of everything and where everything, where no matter how good you are at home, like you're running with you're like a chicken with its head chopped off.
Right.
You know? So it's fascinating. But anyway, yeah, let's get back. I know people will be getting upset. They're going to want us to get back to
No. People love the slop, dude.
They'll be getting now. They do want the sport, but like I said, there'll be people complaining like, "Aren't you going to give out a pick?" And again, you'll get more value. Maybe not in us talking about.
Oh
food.
no. This is good value about the chefs.
It is good. It's good life value.
That's true, dude. That is one thing about a chef, and it's funny because like I don't have near the hand dexterity of my buddy who's a chef, and so like anytime we're playing any kind of like drinking game or anything, like his hands are just like it's like a surgeon, you know, like okay, this is a good story. So when we were in Chicago for the playoffs, it was when Flacco was on the Browns. We rented out the top level. It was me and Boynton and Osimo and a couple other people. We rented out the top level of the DraftKings Sportsbook, and we're watching the games. And people start playing Flip Cup for money, and I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good at Flip Cup. Like I got this. Like, and I played against this surgeon, dude. The surgeon took me for like $1,500 in like 20 minutes, just because it was every time. Like he never missed.
Boynton's about as good as I've seen at Flip Cup.
Right? No, this surgeon was whooping Boynton.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, this surgeon he one-shotted it every time, and it shows you how stable your hands have to be a surgeon. Like what kind of hand dexterity you have to have, and it's just like it's a different skill set. Like you don't ever think about that. Like my buddy who's a dentist. It's the same kind of thing. It's like you can't have shaky hands and be a dentist. That doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a good point, CW. But yeah, but no, it is the knife skills though. I don't know who brought up CW brought up the knife skills. That's the one thing I took one cooking class once, and it was fun. It was like a whole bunch of family in the city. When I say the city in Manhattan, and that was a good time. It was we had a lot of fun. But I really would love to take a knife skills class.
My wife, she did that, and so she has like this specialized Japanese knife she uses, and like one time I accidentally put it in the dishwasher.
Oh yeah, no, you don't dishwasher.
That's when you get stabbed with the knife.
Yeah, you don't put the
the Wagyu knife in the fucking dishwasher.
No, you hand wash. You got to.
And that was a mistake I only made once.
Yeah,
and she immediately ordered a new one. She was like, "No, this one's ruined. this $500 knife is ruined because you put it in the dishwasher."
Way to go! Oh, I have a story that reminds me of it. I'm gonna hold it to myself. But but back to the point of these guys of the betting and the quick fixes. There is a lot of work that's involved. If you're interested in actually getting better at it and learning for yourself. Unfortunately, not everyone has the time. Not everyone's got the pay. And it's an easy sports betting is very easy to do. And we've made it so much easier now that it's on your phone. Like when I was talking to my brother about this, he might be watching the show. And he's like, there was something special about being, back 30 years ago when you had to have a bookie, you had to actually call him up on the phone. And there was no app, there was no nothing that you just you had to actually know someone.
It took a lot of effort to do.
It took effort.
Yeah,
it wasn't like you could casually like sit there and go, I'm going to bet this game. I think it was the same thing if you were, like I've never done any sort of drugs, right? So I didn't have a connection where like I'm like, oh, could I have dug yeah, I could have called a few people and like found it. Just like most people could have done probably if they wanted to place a bet, but it's like, and do I want to like call two guys who then I've got to call another guy to put it in, like it's not worth the $50
just to do something illegal. Yeah,
right. It's not worth it. So you were in this little club, like you were a bettor, or you did, whatever little nefarious thing or maybe illegal thing that you did. It was sort of like being and everyone in that club had a lingo. You had a common bond. Now it's like everyone bets. The majority of people, at least that I run into in the real world, don't even know what it is they're doing.
This is true as well. It's like going to Blockbuster to look at all of the movies made you want to watch the movies more than now just like going through Netflix. And like I'll end up sitting there looking at Netflix for like 20 minutes and like just scrolling through the movies and being like, I'm not fucking watching anything. And
Yeah, there's
just go do
nothing. You've
something
got
else.
access to every movie ever created, and you're like, there's nothing to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that is true. There was I don't know. I guess you're old, like, how old were you when? Yeah, it was like 2008, really, when Blockbuster really.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, that's all we did was go to Blockbuster.
Yeah, so that was I grew up right when the whole video stores became a thing. Dude, I know you're a wrestling guy. I mean, for me, the video store was waiting for like the wrestling tapes to come in. You'd have to put your name on a list. This is like pre-Blockbuster. You put your name on the list, and like the guy would call me, like my local video store guy would be like, "Hey, you're next on the list." What's up?
He'd be like, "Yo, I got the rest.
You got to do this." Yeah,
I got the ECW. I got the ECW.
No, this was way before ECW. It was like we're watching like World Class Championship Wrestling. He's like, it came in. Like you'd run there and like rent it out for the day, and then have to bring it back. Oh, it was a different world.
Yeah,
you're right. But yes, there's an instant gratification now, and it's for the old guys.
That is where the Blockbuster was, Adam.
For the old guys, though, it's like the people who've done this for years. There's a disconnect between, like, they still like betting sides, they still like betting the totals, they're betting the MLB money lines, they're betting like the traditional stuff. The only thing you could bet 30 years ago were those bets, and they, a lot of those guys just haven't. They're like, I'm not getting involved in these props and the SGPs. The newer bettors, they like sides and totals are like
right, and the thing is, and that's why there's such a higher fucking hold on the SGPs and whatnot, is because the new people that don't know what they're doing coming in, that's what they're picking out.
Because it goes back to I want to make $1 million overnight, and the only way I could do that is playing an SGP.
Right.
And look at this, I could just keep adding. I'm going to add another anytime touchdown to this. Oh, if I add this guy at plus 400 that scored 2 touchdowns, that would be, and it's like it's an addictive. It just becomes obviously addictive. But when you go back to that article, I don't know. I mean, there's some realism to it. And actually, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier. We were talking about it before we went on. Ultimately, did we give the ending of the story where he puts the 4,800 or whatever he puts all on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, and he puts it on the money line, of course. Which, by the way, that's like I said, the sides. People bet money lines because they don't even know what the sides are. They don't know the. So my cousin here, female cousin, bets all the time, and she'll never play anything. She's like, "Oh, why would I play it with the spread when all I have to do is pick like the winner? Like I'd rather just pick.
I'd rather just pick the winner. Yeah.
I'd rather just pick who's going to win the game. Like, why am I adding this whole other element of now they've got to win by 4.5?
Well, I think that's partially why UFC has become so popular, because it is binary.
Yes,
you are just picking the winner.
Well, I think it's why I think it's why golf betting, where it's not binary, but I only have to pick one golfer to win, and I can get a plus 4,000.
I mean, that's still kind of binary. Yeah, it's just him against everybody else.
Right. But I can make like 5 bets of plus 5,000 or more and hit that, or the NASCAR, which is just, I think, starting to get a little bit more popular. But like you said, you can bet the MMA where it's more heads up, and it's great because I've got 12, 13 fights on a card. I can bet every single one of them.
MMA is the fucking best.
This is advice we give all you guys. You don't have to make a bet on everything you possibly see.
Unless you're at the event, and then you do.
Yeah, when you're at the event. Well, what you have to do at the event is put in a round robin, is what you have.
No, well, also round robin at the event, and first person you got to find is the 50-50 guy. Literally every time we get to a UFC event, I get into the suite. First thing I say after, let me order a bunch of White Claws, is find the 50-50 guy and bring him in here.
Yeah, well, you're the only human I've seen win the 50-50 in Newark.
Yeah, that was sick.
Joe Cole.
They're doing another event in Newark in May. It's Chimaev's fighting Sean Strickland. I think I might have to run back the 50-50.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. She got a nice tip that day. our server in the
The
suite.
nice lady with the clown makeup.
She was that was as New Jersey as it gets.
Yeah, she was very, very. She was Jersey, like in her mid 50s. Like that was.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: she probably wasn't in her mid 50s, but she looked like she was in her.
She was yeah. I talked to her a little bit. She was probably around that.
That woman definitely. I'm going. What's the fucking cigarette name? The thin one, Virginia Slims.
Oh yeah.
She smoked Virginia Slims, and she drinks like Jack Daniels.
Yes. Yeah.
Jack Daniels and Virginia Slims, and likes to play slot machines.
Yeah, she did. Did she
like
have
that money? That 2,000 we gave her. She immediately burned that shit on a slot machine.
Oh yeah, no, she didn't. Whoever, I don't know if she was married or not, but whoever, like the significant other, never found out about that 2,000. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. All right.
But again, if you win, fucking tip. I won the 50-50 and I found somebody to tip. Somebody's got to get a tip.
Yeah, you played a game with a 50% vig, won it, and tipped on top of it. So you got to do that. I was like I was a good I don't remember what it was, 24,000, something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like a 10% tip. Which is nice. Yeah. I actually tipped her. So,
you did. You got it on the back end.
You didn't have your I don't know.
I didn't have Cash App, I think it was.
Yeah, I had a Cash Apper. Yeah. Well, I'm like I'm Virgil to your $1 Million Man.
Yes, you are Virgil.
Yes. You went like that. And instead of actually bringing out cash, I just took the phone out.
You didn't have the velour tracksuit on, though. That would have made it.
Not that night. But speaking of which, I've been looking at now. I've got to bust the Italia velour tracksuit out with all the.
Oh yeah, with is that today?
The games start tonight. I don't know. I'm not sure if Italy's playing.
I thought they announced that Allegri was starting.
Who's starting?
Sam Allegri.
Yeah, I got to look at what's the matchup here now? We've got U.S. Canada, which is
y'all are playing Puerto Rico.
Well, y'all would be. I am rooting for the American side here, but
are you?
Of course. Why would I ever root for the Italians? I'm going to root for the Italians if they're the only ones left. But no, there's no Italian.
That's the thing. It's not Italy, bro. It's
a bunch.
That is an Italian American team.
I get it.
You are Italian American.
There are no Italians rooting for Italy against
they
the US.
Should be rooting for Italy because that is literally like the team is like a bunch of dudes from Jersey.
Yeah, so what? Like it's still the American
that's your
team.
Boys.
Hey, listen, I wasn't rooting for them the night against the US, but I was sure as hell rooting for them against Mexico.
It was funny that tweet. I think I sent it to you. It's like somebody was like, "Oh, honey, can we go out for dinner?" It was like, "No, I gotta watch a bunch of American Italians and a bunch of American Mexicans play against each other to see if the Americans can make it to the next round."
In the next round of this tournament. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I looked at like Nola was playing for Italy. Like Nola would have made the American roster.
He probably could have, I mean, he hasn't been obviously as good as.
But there's some guys on the back end of the pitching I think he was better than.
Yeah, it's potentially.
This is hilarious. And Pasquantino having to take 3 because he hit 3 home runs.
I just love the fact that he lives with Bobby Witt.
They live together?
I don't know if they live together. They live together during spring training, though. So they have a house together during spring training.
So he's talking shit to him?
So they've done it every year. And apparently, like, this is a thing online. Who pays attention to it? But they post all sorts of stuff. And, like,
right.
I think Vinny P does the cooking. And
that would make sense.
Yeah. And they just do a bunch of so it's been they call it someone will drop it in the chat. There's a name for the house. I forget what they call it. But anyway.
He was hilarious in the post-game interview. He just immediately looked right in the camera and he was like, "You're welcome, America." And he was like clearly talking to Bobby.
Oh, of course. Obviously, they're boys.
You know that Bobby called him before that game and was like, "Listen, you fuckers have to do it.
You better win."
Him and Caglianone.
But it's been the other controversy has been, of course, how different teams, different countries are celebrating, how they're handling home runs, the Cal Raleigh not shaking Rosarena's hand.
Oh, that was dirty.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, I don't care one way or other. If it's me, once the guy extends his hand, I'm like, all right, I'll shake your hand.
You got to do it at that point.
Yeah, especially my teammate. But I'm also not getting like crazy upset about it either. People just go, bananas both sides of the spectrum.
Oh no, Rosarena was definitely playing it up in the interview.
Oh no, he's
not
totally
actually
kidding.
mad.
He was totally kidding because it wasn't like he said anything. I believe Raleigh
He
just
told him to
like,
fuck himself like over and over again.
Right.
In
like
like
Raleigh
5 different languages.
Like, yeah, it's good seeing you. And I think they talked before the game too. And Raleigh was just like, yeah, it's good seeing you. And like when he reached out, they played the whole thing up. But people, of course, this is in the day and age that we live in now, things just got out of control. But the celebrations, look, yeah, I'm an old school white dude. I get the celebrations. My whole thing is do whatever you want to do. I really don't care. It's does your opponent care? And then you should just be willing to take the consequences. The problem you have in all of sports now is you can't retaliate. You can't do anything, which is I worked with a guy who was a collegiate wrestler. He was about maybe a year or two older than you. And so we would talk about it like, because he would always talk, this like the baseball, the unwritten rules of baseball. It's all garbage. It's all this. And then a guy would dunk in the NBA on top of, so you get a 7-footer in the NBA, dunks on a guy who's 6'2". He's got his crotch in his face on the dunk. And then he's going to stand over the guy after he knocks him down. And I go, that's, to me, I mean, it doesn't get any more disrespectful. That's funny. And I go, but if you're a wrestler,
be able to punch him in the face.
You should be able to punch him in the face. Like, there's a reason do you see MMA? Now it happens sometimes. But do MMA guys stand over their opponent after they knock them out?
I mean, oh, yeah. Well, Adesanya and Alex Pereira do.
Yeah, there's a reason you're going to name guys really quickly because it happens very rarely.
And it's only the guys that never lose that do it.
Right, because there's a respect there for your opponent because that guy, every time you walk in, no matter how good you are, there's a chance that you are not going to walk out of that cage the same person you were walking in. Boxing, cage, like any of that, right? So there's way more respect for the sports where you could physically be harmed by the opponent, right? In baseball, you have the least amount. Now it's next to impossible because you can't throw at anyone, right? So now you really can't even hurt somebody in retaliation. So,
I guess if they play middle infield, you can.
Even that they've gotten rid of. You can't come in with a hard slide or anything like that. So I think the further away. So my whole thing is do whatever you want to do. And if it doesn't upset, like if the Dominican team's playing the Venezuelan team and they're all going to celebrate home runs and pimp them and no one cares, I don't care either. It's not.
You know what sport they never pimp shit? Hockey. You know why? Because they let them fucking fight each other.
That's exactly my point. I go, the closer you are to being physically harmed, the less of a taunting celebration you're going. Like, I'm not going to taunt into your face.
One of my friends has a quote on this, and I'm going to try and remember the exact quote, and it's something along the lines of people constantly don't realize that the threat of violence is on the table. The threat of throwing hands is always on the table. It just depends what the other person says or does.
Of course.
Like, there is always a situation where somebody's going to throw a punch at you.
Of course.
So you need to go into every conversation knowing that.
But this is, and Wiley, I can't believe you just figured this out now. Obviously, this is actually, you say that this is where if you have a male, like if it's a male and a female argument, you can't get to that point, right? I can't, right? So a woman knows I'm not going to hit her.
Right.
So the words that she says to me, if we're having an argument, may be a whole lot different than if you and I are having an argument.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because the threat is there. The threat of physical violence is always there.
Right. Well, that's why women verbally are way worse with each other than men. Like, men will break each other's chops. Like they'll joke around verbally. Like, but there's a threat.
There are certain topics you don't touch on. You don't tell a man he cheats at poker, apparently.
You definitely don't say that because you nearly were not around to even talk about that story. So just going to say that.
Yeah, that was the one time you threatened to kill me.
In all these years, I consider that to be a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, one time threatened. Only
threatened to kill you once. But
Bryce has also only threatened to kill me once.
Yeah, that's not bad. But you've actually seen we've actually seen Bryce throw down. So I mean, that's
true. With an Irish mob member. He almost got shanked. The guy turned to my dad, told him he was going to shank Bryce.
I got him out of there pretty quick.
And my dad's like almost 80, and he was like, "What's going on?"
That story was great. I've told that story on here with Bryce, but it's
we have to tell. Okay, we'll tell the story.
I'll tell the Bryce story. We're in Scotland. I mean, we got Bryce. First of all, Bryce had gotten there. I don't know what time of the morning, but a few hours before we had gotten there.
Aer Lingus.
And was sitting in the airport for quite some time, plus whatever he consumed on the plane ride overnight. So now it's about, I don't know, 6:30 Scotland time. We're at the pub. And we had a large group at the table. And just a scuffle breaks out in the corner. And I'm the last seat. I'm the seat closest to wherever the action is happening. And I look over and I see, my first thought in my head was, here we are, day one in Scotland, and I'm thinking this must be like an everyday occurrence at the pubs in Scotland because everyone just gets hammered and like they can't handle their booze. I'm like, this is, and I'm looking because now I don't realize it. I take a double look and I'm like, it's Bryce because he's got no shirt on and no hat on, so I don't recognize that. I've only seen Bryce with a hat on. I don't realize, and I go, oh shit, and I jump up and grab him and drag him out of the bar, and whatever happens with the dude. So I get Bryce, we wound up going to a bar down the block, and they're like, they must have like a system where they alert every bar.
They were ready. They were like, get the fuck.
As soon as we walked in the bar, the female bartender, she goes, I can't serve you guys. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, I can't serve you. So I had to walk with Bryce. Like,
they called the bar down the street to tell them a little dude with no shirt was coming over.
Yeah. When the guy comes in, who looks a little ornery, don't serve him. And so whatever. Eventually, I found a bar and then radioed ahead to you guys to where I took him.
And then he tried to run away from us at that bar. He was on one.
He was. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Got to go to a foreign country and try to get arrested. That's like the first goal.
Yeah, it's always smart. That's a smart move. Yeah. All right, we got. I think we've hit enough controversial topics here for the day. We've got what do we got going on here bet wise? You've got a whole because 2:00's coming up, and I know we've got 2 o'clock.
Let me fire up some college basketball here. 2:00, we got St. Bonnie.
Like these. Yeah,
I like St. Bonnie plus 5.5 against Dayton,
and
at 2, and then at 2:30, I like Illinois minus 7.5 against Wisconsin and under 157.5. 3 o'clock.
The St. Bonaventure over as well. I like that.
The over. Okay. Yeah. And then 3, I like Kennesaw State plus 2.5 against Sam Houston. Then let's see. I get Tennessee minus 1 against Vanderbilt. It's now a 1.5 at 3:30. I like the Vols to cover again after they did us right yesterday. And then another at 2:00, Alabama A&M minus 1.5 against Prairie View A&M in the SWAC tournament.
Yeah, those I'm kind of neutral on. Those
you're not a big HBCU ball knower.
Definitely don't propose to be a.
You don't know about HBCU Monday in the chat?
No, I do.
So during the regular season, it's like Mondays, like none of the big conferences play, but like all of the HBCU teams play. And so every Monday is known as HBCU Monday, and HBCU Monday is a printer.
I wasn't even aware that was going on in our own chat.
We love HBCU Monday.
We've got some good stuff. Man, I've got the MLB tool. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. I sent you.
I have, and I was taking a shower.
It was like right before we went on. Wiley could speak to it a little bit. He got.
Wiley loves baseball. It's his favorite.
Wiley loves it. Well, he's gonna love if Canada upsets the U.S. Then we'll
then he will be able to actually that's the only way he can redeem the Olympics.
Right, but as I said, that's what's gonna wind up happening. Right,
if Canada if Canada wins, I kind of want it to happen because
which is worse.
Then the American Italians can win.
Yeah, well, That would be unbelievable. I bought the shirt, by the way, with the espresso.
With the espresso.
Yeah, it's a. I'll wear it on one of the episodes because I mean that's like my grandmother every night at the dinner table we had that.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I'm like,
Jessica,
awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know what you call it. There's a name. Obviously, there's a name for it. I'm not sure what it is, but any Italians out there who grew up with it, it's like it's basically like two triangles and the water just drips through, and it's an old school espresso maker. Yeah. But anyway, I forgot what we were saying. You distracted me with the baseball. With the MLB. Yeah, so we've got. So I put on there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be on there, but we got the just for the futures for MLB. I mean, this is really built for DFS, but MLB futures. I've got an ELO ranking system in there. Right, already for the preseason, I did all my projections for MLB wins, and I posted that in the Discord. So everyone could do that if you want to bet.
How are the Astros going to do?
The Astros, if you give me a second, I will bring that up for you. Actually, I'll bring up let me just look at the entire model, and I'll give you the because I did a win probability for like the World Series and all that. So I've got Houston at 84.7 wins, 26.4% chance to win the division, 50% chance to make the playoffs, 8.2 to win the pennant, and 3.6 to win the World Series.
I like it.
I don't know where the market is on them.
I would think they're higher than 25-1.
Let's see. We could look at that right now. I mean, I've got obviously the Dodgers are going to be number one there. I've got them at 19% to win.
That sounds about right.
To win and you're paying like, I think it's 22 or 20. I forget what the percentage is on these what do you call prediction markets for them.
How you feeling about your own boys?
I think that I've got them as the model has them number 2 as far as wins. Of course, getting through the Dodgers puts them at like the 5th choice to win the World Series, but they're like
so you have them as the second best team in the league.
They've got 89 win projection on the model. I'll give you the exact number here. It's
I would say the Mets are probably on paper the second best team in the league. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're 89.5, but I mean Philly's right there, 89 wins.
Philly.
Right behind them, so they're only a half win off. The Mets are 6.6% chance on the model to win the World Series, 12%.
Because they have to go through the Dodgers. Yeah.
They have to go through the Dodgers. So the number 2 team is actually Seattle to win the World Series.
Fuck Seattle.
6.8%. All right.
They already got clubhouse issues with Randy and Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah, let me look at the actual market. I'll bring that up here. What's the U.S. while I'm bringing it up? U.S. is still pretty decent favorite, 40% in the prediction markets to win this the WBC.
I can probably get this pulled up.
I've got 43 National League's 43% for the Dodgers. Mets are 11% in the betting market. I don't know where we're at on DraftKings if you want to bring them up.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up DraftKings right now, but it's got spring training up first, obviously.
I've got DraftKings.
World Series. Here we go. So the Mets are 13-1. Dodgers are plus 230, which is stupid.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, the Astros are 25-1. So you like the Astros as a bet?
Yeah, I would like the Astros then at that number. Let's see what. Yeah, 25-1. You can get them on the.
No, it's close. Would you have it at 3?
I had it 3 point. Give you the 3.6. So that's what 3.6 is.
27% or
20, almost 27.
27-1.
20, almost 27-1, right?
Should be 27-1.
Right.
So it's not a good bet.
So it's not a good bet. Yeah, we're getting negative. Most of these, I haven't gone through them all yet. We'll see if there's any value on these in the markets. But typically, as you know, the futures are going to come with a bigger hold percentage, so that it's tough to find good value on a lot of these futures. You will find some value though on the win totals.
Typically, baseball, I like I like to take futures like right before the playoffs start, or maybe like with a month to go, a team that probably or maybe won't make it. You can get some insanely high numbers. The highest baseball future I ever hit was like 250 to 1. This was actually placed in May, though. It was on the Nationals in 2016 or 2017, whenever that was. 2019.
Yeah, you were, and obviously,
and they were in last place in May.
Obviously, these are not they're not typically going to win. It drives people hate betting on stuff that you don't think that you personally don't think is going to win.
Well, I did the same thing with the Mets 2 years ago, and then they like charged all the way into the playoffs, and I thought that was going to get there.
You had a real shot. I think
it was like 150 to 1 or something.
You like Pittsburgh last year. You're like, hey, we got
Pittsburgh, and that's the opposite. Pittsburgh last year just immediately went in the tank.
Right, but you have to be willing to take those chances,
right,
to do that. But like I said, people almost 99% of people's bets are. You're only betting it because you think this is going to happen, and you need to have some sort of a narrative behind the bet as to why you think it's going to happen, which is partially true. You do need to have some reason, but there needs to be a good mathematical reason behind the bet, and not necessarily always because you've come up with some fundamental reason that you think, you've got to have a value in there. And so I don't think you personally thought Pittsburgh was going to win the World Series last year.
No, but they had good front end starting pitching, and they were on the fringes. Yeah,
right. But you're looking at it from a professional standpoint and saying, look, I know they're not as good as the Dodgers. They're not as good as a bunch of teams, but for the price that I'm getting here,
and in a short form play, I think they were very well built for a short form.
Short term, right? That was your big point with the pitching that they had and whatnot. But the tool is going to update daily, and it's going to continually change all those probabilities as far as betting the to win the division, to make the playoffs, all of that. The win totals are going to update daily as well. So for all of you guys who want to just make these bets throughout the season, you'll at least be able to refer to the model and see if what you are thinking fundamentally maybe matches the model, and there's some value there. So I think it's going to be I think the tool is going to be a lot of fun this year. The tools, we're continually building new stuff. Last week, the NASCAR stuff was insane. I go out to dinner with like 25 laps to go in the NASCAR race, and I'm sitting there. I was with my dad. Start looking at my phone, and I'm like, "This is insane!" Like everyone was chopping up top on the big GBP. Let alone anyone who played all the other. But my buddy Chris, who he's like every game that I played for NASCAR, he's like someone with an RPS logo was up at the top.
Joe Cole single bulleted the MME.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one. There was like 3 people who did that. Single bullet hit the
$20. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so it was nuts. So that was a good.
Joe Cole, I will tell you, I have never single bulleted an MME before.
Never. You also never really throw a single bullet into an MME.
Right. I mean, it's not like a common thing, but the point is,
doing that is
insane.
Insanely, yeah, it's insane. And the fact that we had multiple people do that was awesome. So hopefully we got a little something working here with the NASCAR tool that we built, and the MLB suite of tools is going to be hopefully just as good. So be on the lookout for that. Let's get some pick six action going here.
You ready to give me these basketball pick sixes so I can?
You want me to just give you a whole?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
All right, hold. You pull it up, pal.
I will. All right.
You do
what
that.
What do you want to take on the freebie?
Okay, hold on here. I'm bringing mine up. What do you got on the free? What do we got on the freebie?
The discounted picks are Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, Benedict Mathurin, and Ace Bailey.
Let's go with the Ace Bailey, 14.5.
Ace Bailey over 14.5 points as the discounted pick. Next.
Oh wait, was Walker one? No, Walker wasn't one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jarace Walker, 14.5 points to the under.
Jarace Walker under 14.5 points. Who next?
Let's go with OG, his points, 18.5. We'll take that one under as well.
Okay. OG Ananobi under 18.5.
Give me points. Santos, 13.5. Over.
Gui Santos over 13.5 points.
All right. Let's see. Well, that's 4 of them, right?
Yep.
Rudy Gobert, 11.5 points and assists. We'll take that to the over.
Rudy Gobert over 11.5 points and assists.
And let's give you one more. So tough. All right. Let's go Gregory Jackson's rebounds over 4.5.
You said over 4.5?
Yeah, 4.5.
All right. So pick 6. We got Ace Bailey over 14.5 points. Jarris Walker under 14.5 points. OG Ananobi under 18.5 points. Gui Santos over 13.5 points. Rudy Gobert over 11.5 points and assists. GG Jackson over 4.5 rebounds, pays 24.1 to 1. I will put that on the Twitter. There you go.
Perfect. All right, guys. We've got did a lot here today. Went over a lot. Hopefully some of it beneficial. We got a lot of bets here. Good luck on your college on these college basketball bets. Exciting weekend, tournament action next week. I'm not going to be around next week, so we'll have to see what we're doing. I'll be
in Nashville at the
that's right. Yeah, you're at there, and I'm at
World Championship.
I'm at the college basketball games. The opening round on Friday is down here, so I will be going to those games. We'll see who the matchups are. That'll be a lot of fun. So we probably won't be here next week. Maybe we'll see if we can maybe just do a show on a different day. We'll figure it out.
Show before the tournament starts.
Yeah, we should actually do like maybe a little tournament.
Sure Boynton will want to do a show.
Boynton's gonna, I'm sure Boynton's gonna want to do it. Either way, we'll get something together with Boynton and do a little tournament preview show. We'll do some brackets, we'll do some picks, and we'll get that all for you guys this week, next week, that is. All right. Good luck, everybody. This is Run Pure Sports. As always, head over to runpuresports.com. Check out all the winners that we've got going on over there. The pros, the new tools. Wiley wants me to mention the golf tool that is being built already. There's a Wiley's golf models. You can and you can build your own little models there with golf. Of course, the weather stuff, which was spot on again this week with the weather app, and for baseball, I'm really looking forward to see how that performs for baseball. But the model was great for PGA as well this week. So check all that out. There's a lot more going on. This is not your dad's Run Pure Sports, as they like to say. We've got a lot going on over there. So runpuresports.com. This is the Picking Winner Show. I'm Stats. This is along with JBC. I always screw that up. We'll be back at some point next week. Look out for us. Cheers.